Ms. Kakooza is a communications professional with over 6 years experience. She is the founder of Tumaini Foundation, which aims to tackle mental health issues around the continent. She also runs a blog where she writes to change the African narrative. She is a Yali Fellow 2017 and a Yelp Fellow. We caught up with her to talk about the mental health issues in Africa. Hi Liz.
Hi Safra, how are you?
Fine, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me finally.
Finally. No, we scheduled this a while back.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's dive right in.
Okay.
So you've gained prominence as a champion for mental health in Uganda. What experience sparked this passion?
Well, it comes from my personal journey battling depression for about 15 years and not properly being diagnosed until late 2015. And for me, I've discovered a secret in my path to recovery. Being able to help other people helps me stay on my path, on my journey of recovery as well. So it was both to help other people, but to help myself as well. So yeah, that's what really sparked the journey for me. And there was a need for, you know, someone to talk about mental health, for someone to basically be the voice for those that are suffering in silence, because mental health is still very taboo.
Yes.
So people really do suffer in silence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You said it's very taboo. So do you think we still have that stigma related to it, and how do you think we can move past that?
Yeah, the stigma is still a very big thing happening. It's still a very big thing surrounding mental health. That's why we don't have people coming out. It's actually quite surprising that 1 in 4 people is dealing with a mental health disorder, but most people will never ever come out. The percentage of people that will come out and, you know, discuss their mental health issues or seek treatment for their mental health issues is a very small percentage. So yeah, that's all stems from stigma, but I keep saying stigma comes from a place of ignorance. So as the Tumaini Foundation and myself adjusted mental health, that's one of the key areas I want to focus on, you know, helping people understand.
Yeah.
And helping people understand what mental health is, dispelling some of the myths around mental health and stuff like that, just getting people to understand, and I think that will deal with the stigma in the long run.
So you're also a marketing and communications person with over 6 years experience. How do you feel this has contributed to your cause?
Communication is one of the most important things for businesses and organizations. How do you communicate with your audiences? And I know many non-profits, many organizations will pay a communications person to create a strategy on how to communicate with their audiences and things like that. My experience and my skills and experience in communications have helped me, you know, figure out how to communicate with audiences. I know that's still evolving, especially in terms of mental health. It's been a lot of trial and error, but I believe that it's because of communication, of that communications experience and the knowledge that I've been able to build, you know, campaigns here and there. The things that we've done so far have been all based on or built around communications. Also the awareness aspect, the awareness aspect of Tumaini requires a lot of communication. I mean, if you're going to educate and talk to people, help them understand, it's about how you communicate with them. So that has been very crucial, and yeah, we've been able to make some strides.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what inspired the name Tumaini? Tell us how you came up with it.
So Tumaini is a Swahili word that means hope. I did a stint of treatment when I was dealing with depression in Nairobi, and the support group I was attending was called Tumaini. So it really, at that point in time, because I was receiving the help I needed, that's when the name, it just struck a chord with me, you know, and I said, wow, this is such a beautiful thing. Yeah, so I decided to copy and paste, really. Yeah.
Okay, and what does the foundation do?
So basically our 3 key areas are to raise awareness and fight stigma, to improve access to healthcare for people living with mental health disorders, and to influence and implement policy and legislation around mental health. So those are 3 objectives, short, medium term and long term objectives, you know. Our immediate objective is to raise awareness and fight the stigma, because that's what we can do with the very little resources we have at the moment, and it's easily within our reach. Improving access to healthcare is something that will come medium term. We hope to partner with maybe the government or private healthcare providers to just maybe open centers or create units within their facilities to cater for people living with mental health disorders. How do we get more psychiatrists into the country? How do we train mental health first aiders? That's a medium-term goal. And then long-term, we want to work with the government to change the legislation around mental health. We have a Mental Health Act in Uganda that was enacted in 1964. Yeah, colonial times, right? Wow. And it hasn't been.
Must be quite outdated.
It's very outdated. It's very demeaning, to say the least, to people suffering with mental health. I mean, it doesn't cater for mental health issues in the modern day. That act was enacted during a time when there was very little information around mental health. But since then, there's been so much progression in understanding mental health. So we need to change with the times.
Okay, so can anyone who feels depressed seek Tumaini services, or does one have to be clinically diagnosed?
So usually what we're doing at the moment as Tumaini is we do referrals. So we have a list of mental health professionals that we can refer you to, in case you reach out to us and say, hey, I have this problem and I have this problem. Because of course right now we don't have the capacity to have our own staff, to have our own health professionals working for the Tumaini Foundation. So really, if you reach out to us, you reach out to me on social media, you reach out to any person that's affiliated to Tumaini, we'll be able to put you in touch with someone. Usually we refer you to a psychiatrist first, or maybe depending on really something's about instinct, or what you're going through. Maybe sometimes it's better to go through a psychologist first, who can then refer you to a psychiatrist. Really, that's what we're doing at the moment, is a lot of referrals. I have some people that have volunteered to take on roles as psychologists on a pro bono basis. So that's something we're still working out in terms of scheduling and all of those things, but the logistics around it. And hopefully later in the year we'll be able to roll that out.
Okay. So what is the most touching experience you've had with the Tumaini Foundation?
The most touching experience? Wow. I can't pinpoint one particular experience, but I have so many people reach out to me. Many of them are even people that I already know, and they share with me, they disclose how they've dealt with a mental health issue for so long, or something no one expected. Exactly. So those really touch me. I can't say one is greater than the other, but it's all very, it's like a very profound moment when someone comes out and says, I'm dealing with this.
You've been selected as a global shaper for the World Economic Forum, and you're also a Yali and Yelp fellow. What principles have you taken from these prestigious spaces?
Really, these spaces, these opportunities have helped me improve my leadership ability, something that I wasn't certain that I had, especially when I started on this journey of trying to advocate for mental health. And even around the other work that I do, I wasn't very certain. But one of the most critical things that I've been able to learn is how to be a leader of impact. How do I ensure that through my leadership, impact is created in whatever sphere of influence that I serve? That's the most important thing. That's what we need for Africa right now. People in leadership positions that can create impact. So that's been a key lesson for me in all these spaces that I've been a part of.
Okay. Speaking for Tumaini, how would you advise one to reach out to a loved one battling depression, create an environment of love and trust for them to open up?
Usually, it's important not to push a person or be overly imposing. on a person and their space and their, you know, because at the end of the day, if someone is to receive help and if it's to work, it has to come from the person. But just guide them in terms of questions asked, in terms of direction that you try to send them, and you know, just suggestions. Suggestion is the best thing, because there you leave a lot of room for the person to think about things, and you know, there's nothing in life when the best way to get someone to do something is to make them think it's their own idea. You know, even true. As you know, marketers and whatever. That's the best way to get someone to
put it at the back of their mind.
Exactly. If you believe it's your own idea, you'll be so proud of yourself and say, like, wow. You know. So it's suggestion really is the best thing you can do, and just say maybe you should, why don't you try and do this, or I could put you in touch with someone that does this. Oh, I know this person that does this and this and this. So I know this.
Overly aggressive.
No, it never ever works, because it has to come from within, and that's the best way for the recovery process to work.
So if you were the leader of this country, what would you do to better the livelihoods of people struggling with mental health illnesses?
If I were the leader of this country, one, I would work to improve access to healthcare. I mean, we have only one national psychiatric hospital in Uganda, which is Butamika Hospital, that serves around 5,000. No. That has a capacity of 5,000, but it serves around 9,000 a year. And I believe that's inpatient, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check. We have about 36, 37 qualified psychiatrists in Uganda. If I was the leader, why not put in place maybe scholarship programs, or you know, how do we subsidize education for people that are interested in studying psychiatry? Because if you look at the statistic, 1 in 4 people, that means 9 million people, you know, are probably suffering from a mental health disorder. If you put that in perspective of the entire population, that means 1 psychiatrist per 1 million people. That's quite unreasonable. It's unsustainable, you know. So that would be very critical for me. I would also look into legislation around mental health. Like I said earlier, the Mental Health Act was enacted in 1960. It's very archaic. It hasn't been reviewed or amended since. It's very outdated, really. So there's a lot of work to be done, even in terms of legislation around mental health, and that's those would be key areas for me.
To work on. Okay, Liz. The last question comes to you as a young Ugandan in her 20s. How do you think young Ugandans can balance having a good time and being cautious about their lifestyle to avoid self-medication and addiction?
I think the most important thing is to know yourself and identify your triggers, identify your weaknesses, and try, and once you know yourself, you try and stay within that boundary of, you know, knowing myself. I won't say try cocaine, I won't say, because such drugs are very addictive, you know. If you know you have an addictive personality, you will mitigate, you will limit certain things in your life. You know, you'll say, I won't try cocaine, I won't try heroin, I won't try, you know, Molly. Maybe I'll only stick to 1 glass of wine every so often, or I'll stick to, you know, and just know yourself. Just know yourself. That's the most important thing. Just know yourself. Hi, my name is Liz. I'm the founder of the Tumaini Foundation that does work around mental health in Uganda, and you're watching KACHAI.
Thank you for watching KACHAI. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube to watch this episode. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at KACHAI. Have a wonderful day.